What is up, my friends? It is time for the next edition of What is Inside this month's JDM Bento Box. This is the September edition. This is a super cool subscription program that we do here through the shop. If you guys are part of the subscription, I am going to take everything out of here, talk why I chose these items, how to fish them, so on and so forth. Really kind of give you all the interesting things that are going on in this genius mind up here. If you're not part of the subscription, hopefully this will be a fun episode for you. We're gonna basically geek out on some lures. I'm gonna talk about some really cool lures that you may not be familiar with and how to rig them and catch more fish. So if you'd like to join in on a little tackle porn episode, let's do it. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle.
Oh, what a stud.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was sick.
Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. All right, guys, some breaking news. What's new this week at the Hookup Tackle?
What a beautiful post-spawn fish.
Look at that.
Look at that gut on that. That's a nice fish.
All right, welcome back, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, the Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined, of course, again this month by my buddy CJ Desert Bass. And CJ, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Another month, another bento.
Another month, another bento. This one's pretty cool. So if you guys are subscribers, or even if you're new, the bento is a $100 subscription each month, and it's a $100 box of tackle. This month, there's some extra tackle in there because we are kind of planning for a couple of months, and we got a lot of inbound all at one time, and I needed to kind of make some room. So we put some extras.
Throw it in there.
So you're welcome. So this month's kind of like a little bonus box. I love the way it came out. It's super cool. I hope you guys, if you've already got it and unboxed it, I hope you're loving it. If you guys are not a subscriber, we will open up new subscriptions in January, so it's only a couple months away. So stay tuned, and whoever's fallen off through the course of the year, we will open those spots and let you guys hop on, okay? Nice. But even if you're not a subscriber, there's some cool baits in here, and we're going to talk riggings and how to use them and so on and so forth. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm excited to see what we have this month.
Each month, each box is a box of JDM tackle, of course. Every month we do a special run color of Megabass 110 and Pop Max. Those are always kind of our stars of the show, right?
Yep.
So we are going to end on those. I'm just going to dive right in. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Don't skip.
Something we haven't been able to put in a box until this month.
Whoa, that's a change.
Some line.
Look at that.
Okay, so if you guys have been subscribers for a while, this was probably a surprise for you to open up and see a pack of line. Now, this is a company called Zalt. Zalt is a relatively new brand in the world of fishing line in Japan, but it's one that's gaining a ton of popularity. So everybody would have got a pack of Zalt's Fluorocarbon. Pretty sure it was all 12 and 14 pound. If you guys got a different size, let me know. But it should have been 12 and 14 pound. It's made in Japan, Fluorocarbon. Zalt is really well known as having good premium line at a relatively inexpensive price. Okay, so is this going to steer me away? I'm a huge Sunline sniper guy. I use it on pretty much everything. Is this going to steer me away? No, but the fun of this box is to give you guys exposure to new things. So maybe try it and see how it works from what the line they're using now to something different. Where I start experimenting with lines is when I start having problems, right? So if I'm throwing something and I don't like maybe the abrasion resistance of the line, maybe the line's too stiff and I want it to be limper, maybe it's the other way around, maybe the knot strength isn't good, or maybe I'm not casting as far as I should, or I broke something off and I didn't think I should. That's usually when I start going down the rabbit hole of experimentation, and that's usually the best advice I can give. If what you're using now is working, then stay there. If it's Seagar, if it's Sunline, if it's, I don't know, something goofy like Berkeley even, if it's working for you, then stay there. But if you're thinking that there might be some better performance out there, then maybe give this a try. I think you'll love it. It's cool to see like a premium fluorocarbon that's going to range in that like $12 to $15 a spool, which you don't see very often anymore. Most of them now are creeping to $20 to $40 if you're in a shooter or tatsu or something like that. I thought it'd be kind of fun to throw it in. Give it a try, see what you think. There's tons of guides on Lake Biwa that are all about the Zalts. I mean, you can, if you follow them on social media, you can really see tons of info on there. But there you go. First line.
Might be your next favorite line. In
a bento, could be. Okay, and by the way, they have different levels of fluoro, kind of like how Sunline, Seagar, and everybody has levels. There's mono, there's braid. They even have some trout-specific lines. So the brand is growing. It's getting much more popular, and the lines are growing as well. So if you enjoy it, maybe take a look at their other offerings. Might be interesting for you. So there you go. Item number 1, some Zalt's fluoro.
Sick.
All right.
Good start.
Let's dig in. I'll put this over here. All right, item number 2 is a soft plastic. Okay, now some of you, these are going to come in 2 different sizes. So some of you may get a 5-inch, some of you may get a 3-inch. Colors are going to vary box to box. But this is a new bait. Literally, we just launched it last week, called the Eguita. Now the brand is Transcendnece. It's kind of a collab with another brand called Chill in Japan. It's a new style bait. On the back, if you guys got the 5-inch package, it'll have like rigging instructions on it. If you guys got the 3-inch package, no rigging instructions for you. Okay?
You gotta figure it out.
Figure it out yourself, suckers. But here, I'll open it up and we'll kind of talk it through, and I'll kind of walk you through it. So, what the Eguita is it's a flat, kind of hybrid. It's not quite a true paddle tail.
No.
It's not quite a true grub. It's kind of a hybrid style bait. So you can see on this tail back here, it's kind of like a triangular fin, but then it also has, when you flip it upside down, it also has like another fin on it, right? So the idea is that it's almost like if you swim it, it's going to have that paddle tail-esque kind of vibe, right, where it kind of vibrates. But the shape is going to dictate kind of how you throw this thing. So you can use it on a drop shot. You can nose hook it on and drop shot and do kind of a drop swim, and you're going to have a little bit different, real tight motion to it. You can rig it flat, and you can utilize it as a bait that you can use winding or, you know, kind of snapping up, which is going to cause it to kind of have left and right darts. You can Texas rig it. You can put a ball head on it, which is the most popular way. Guys are using it in Japan, and you can throw it out and just kind of fish it like a traditional, like the same way you would a paddle tail, K-Tech, or a B-Wall rig. So you can free rig it. What else did we leave off on the package? I'm just going down the package. A jig trailer, a weighted hook, right? So all kinds of ways you can do it, but honestly, I think you guys can find a fit for a bait like this, and however it is that you like to fish, right? I mean, at this point, everybody kind of has something figured out. If you're a free rigger, it should fit right in. If you're a drop shot, it'll fit right in. If you like putting things on ball heads, it should fit right in. If you want to try the wind, right, which is a new technique you're going to hear a lot about, flip it flat side. Okay? Put a little darter head on it and just start snapping upwards, and you're going to see that the bait just kind of skips left and right. It's kind of a cool little deal. So there you go. Colors vary. They're all natural colors. So, you know, I don't know, something fun to try. New to the market.
It's a unique looking bait.
It's cool.
Kind of reminds me of like a bull slender with the tail.
Very similar.
Similar.
Yeah, similar. So it's subtle. It's bait fish looking, but I think you guys will have success with it. So there you go. So want to try just something different and unusual. So you go from Transcendnece, the Eguita. That is bait number 2. Bait number 3. From our friends at Signal, we have the brand new Waka bait. Now this is also new to the market. This is going to give you a traditional paddle tail, but a really cool paddle tail swim bait. So if the triangular, you know, hybrid paddle tail that we just showed was a little too weird,
here's a real paddle tail.
Here's a real one. Here's a normal one. All right, so the Waka bait is a new offering from Signal. They're going to come in 2 different sizes. So depending on which box you get, it will depend on the size, right? They're going to come in a variety of colors, but they're pretty much all great shad type colors. Now, if you are familiar with Signal, you know that they make great paddle tails. They make a rigged paddle tail that's really famous called the Devil Swimmer that everybody here fishes and uses. The Waka bait is designed to be a super versatile paddle tail. Kind of think of it as an elevated bougie paddle tail.
I like that.
In a way.
Bougie paddle tail.
Yeah, bougie paddle tail. So it's made out of a little bit different plastic material. It's got a little bit more of like a realistic paint finish on it. What's nice about Signal's finishes a lot of times when soft plastic companies put this like real skin, it stiffens the plastic. Not the case here. So I mean, it's just as pliable. They have a different way of painting the baits. So it's just as pliable, just as soft as it normally would be. It's a triangular shape, right? So it's going to be flatter on the bottom, thinner on the top. What that's going to do is if you rig this weightless, it's going to allow the bait to shimmy fall like a Senko. So obviously it's a paddle tail, so it's designed to kick in the back, but on a weightless, it will fall horizontally. So you get kind of the best blend of both worlds where you get that shimmy fall here, the tail kick here. In Japan, most guys are using it on A-rigs. That's how I see it fished most often, but it does have a hook slot here. So if you wanted to rig it on, you know, a twist lock, you know, owner or whatever your favorite hook is, you can rig it, I mean, rig it however you want. It's a paddle tail. Have some fun with it. Try it. You can put it on the back of a jig. You can throw it by itself. You put it on a ball head, put it on an A-rig. Do whatever you want, but it's a cool little bait. I think you guys will dig it. So that is the Waka bait from Signal.
They're pretty crafty dudes. They come up with some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but it's one of those brands that can do crazy and functional. Right?
Absolutely.
One thing really quick that I just want to mention, anytime you get a paddle tail bait like this, I can't emphasize enough the importance of keeping it in the original clamshell. Okay, so the same goes for if this is a mag draft, if this is a pack of Kitex or whatever, that clamshell is the only way to ensure that that bait is going to stay straight on you. Okay, so one nice thing that Signal does in their clamshells, they do leave room for a hook.
That's such a good idea.
So if you were to rig this on, say, like an owner twist lock or a beast or, you know, a Ryugi hook or whatever, there's room for the whole thing. Right, the eye, the hook, everything. So if you cut it off and you're like, well, now it's got a hook in it, I don't want to take it out, there is room in there to drop in the clamshell. So I know clamshells can be kind of a pain in the ass because they're bulky, but it's honestly, it's the only way to go.
Yeah,
so,
if you want your baits to swim right, it's worth
yeah,
it to
if
me.
you want them to swim right. Otherwise, you start putting them in planos and the plano slips and all the tails are kinked, that's when shit goes south, right?
Yeah.
That's when it stops working. So what I do is I usually have like a dry bag or like a big clear Ziploc, and I just put a bunch of them in, and I'll have kind of like 4 inches here and 3 inches here. And yeah, it's kind of bulky, but it's the only way to really keep them safe. So there you go. Waka bait, number 3. All right, number 4.
Are they going to get stabbed there?
Another soft plastic. Okay,
Let's
so loaded you guys up. So this is a brand new bait to the market from OSP. This is the OSP DoLive Shot 4-inch. Okay, so this is a brand new size. Now, DoLive Shot's been in their lineup for many years. It's in a 4.5-inch size. I know it doesn't seem like a big difference, but it's a huge difference in size, body thickness, diameter, rate of fall, everything. Okay. The reason I'm including this, a couple reasons. A, the DoLive Shot's a super dope bait. So the DoLive Shot originally was designed as a backlighting bait. Okay, so when you look at the DoLive Shot, it's kind of like a tube kind of look, right? But it's a solid body, and you can see that it's got a higher sides, thinner top. It's a traditional OSP. There's, you know, rigging marks all across it, so you know exactly where the hook should go in, exactly where it should come out. It's slightly reinforced in the front, so it's going to prevent some tearing. Traditionally, you're going to rig this backwards. So you're going to go in through the tails and out, and then the bait's going to glide away from you. And you could certainly do that here with the 4-inch size as well. But what I love about the 4-inch size is one thing that we have discovered over the last couple of years is that the DoLive Shot, even though it's designed as a backlight bait, it's an unbelievable free rig bait.
Yep.
So, you know, so many of you guys live in places where they chew a tube, and there's just something about this. Whatever the tentacles do to the fish, they're just places where a tube is just money, right? Yep. They just chew it. So this should give you guys an alternative to a tube, or if you're a free rig guy, which I think at this point almost everybody is, this will be a really nice finesse option to kind of go side by side with like a DoLive beaver.
Yeah, absolutely.
So try it, right? So what you're gonna get here is you're gonna get a little bit different fall and a little bit faster glide, right? So when that weight separates, it's gonna continue to glide similar to a stick, but you're just gonna have this little different action back here with the tentacles. You're gonna catch a ton of fish on it, okay? It's a really fishy bait, and the 4-inch size is pretty finesse. So probably spinning rod here, but again, whatever you're doing with your 3.5 beaver, same hook, same weight, everything with the 4-inch DoLive Shot, you guys will catch a ton of fish. And again, there's a bunch of colors, so depending on which box you get will depend on which color you get. But I think you'll really dig this bait, and if you like it, maybe try the 4.5-inch size, which is the next size up. It's only a 1/2 inch, but it's a substantially bigger bait. And that one's a really fun, just kind of pitch in weightless, almost like you would a Senko, and it really kind of kicks back underneath. But there you go, DoLive Shot from OSP, 4-inch. That is, what, number 4?
Number 4.
4 things already. All right, let's keep going.
We're getting to the stars.
All right, enough soft plastics, okay? So that's cool. So 3 different soft plastics.
Yep.
Let's get to some hard baits, shall we?
Let's look at them. Check them out.
So let's start right here. Okay. If you've followed our channel for any amount of time, and we've spoken about jerk baits, you have heard us mention this bait over the last year. Okay, this has become almost everybody's, not necessarily favorite jerk bait, but almost, I think everybody here has added it to their lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? And this is a raid level minnow. It's really hard with jerk baits, especially a box that comes with a 110.
Yeah,
right?
That's a
To
hard
talk
competitor.
about other jerk baits, but there are certain jerk baits that everybody should definitely keep on the radar. We've talked about the Varuna in past boxes and
Love Varuna.
Rudras. We've spoken about pointer 100s. Like, these are staple jerk baits that everybody should try because they do different things, right? So 110 is kind of a light line finesse jerk bait. A Varuna is like a heavy line, hard jerk bait, right? They're different tools for situations. You've become a huge fan of level minnow.
Yeah, I really enjoy the level minnow. It's a hardier jerk bait than the 110, so it's a nice alternative when you want to get aggressive. Super snappy. I feel like I have a lot of control with it, and it's just a good looking bait.
One of the challenges to jerkbait fishing is castability.
Yep, absolutely.
And, you know, every brand has some form of like weight transfer system, right? So everybody says, oh, it has a weight transfer system, so it casts great. But obviously, some brands function at a higher level than others, right? So you guys know, if you've used one jerkbait or another jerkbait, some just cast better. Same with crankbaits, same with everything else. There is something magical in the way this bait is built and the castability. Okay, so if I spec this out for you, and I'll spec it out really quick, it's 125 millimeters, 1/2 ounce. Okay, and Ito Vision 110 is 110 millimeters, 1/2 ounce. So yes, I've added 15 millimeters technically, but it's a narrower frame, right? It's kind of skinny. So I put this in the same category as a 110. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit thinner, so it kind of matches the shape. But as you can see, it has 2 weight transfer balls in there. So when you cast this, those weights unlock and they shoot to the back, and you see how far back they go. And then when they slide forward, they kind of lock in place and they maintain the balance in there. This bait throws farther than any other jerk bait I've thrown.
It's crazy. Like Cal and Andrew and I, in the middle of February, out in the middle of a blizzard, like howling wind, snow everywhere, bombing it through.
Yep.
Bombing, no problems.
Yep. So this is one of those things that you're just going to have to use for yourself and see for yourself, and then decide if, well, I know I'm right. But then be like, oh, he's right.
You're going to like it.
Yeah, fuck it through a long ways. Yeah, so cool. I think you guys will really dig this bait. It's going to stay relatively high in the column. It's got kind of a short lip. Now, some of you may get the MR version. Okay, so there's 2 different versions. There's a standard and an MR, which is basically just a little bit longer lip. So the longer lip's going to get down to like 6-7 feet, right? Not quite a +1, but close, right? And then the traditional version is going to be your standard, 3-4 foot diver. Okay, but I think you guys will really dig this. Now, Raid makes some amazing colors in the level Minnow too. So no matter which color you get, from their golds to their clears to the pinks, they make some really exciting, very, very nice colors. Okay, so I think you'll really dig it. So I'm excited to see what you guys catch on it. I think you will find that if you use it, it's going to become a staple. Like I said, everybody here has them in their arsenal. You know, what's funny is they kind of started in all of our arsenals because it was new. Right? So if you think back to about this time last year, it's like, all right, we have a new jerk bait. We kind of have to go make some videos and use it and learn how to use it, and, you know, for the sake of having some content on it. And it's stuck. Like, we do that with a lot, pretty much every lure that comes in here. And sometimes, like, it sticks for Griff and doesn't stick for me, or, you know, Jeff loves it and CJ hates it, or whatever happens. This is kind of one of those that everybody has.
Yeah, I feel like everyone kind of geeked over that. When we started using it. We had to use it to really appreciate it. But once you used it, like I geek out about that thing. I think it's sick. Yeah,
I think you guys will love it. So there you go. Hard bait number 1 from Raid, the level Minnow. One more hard bait.
One more.
The stars. Yeah, there's a lot in this box.
Yeah, man, we loaded that thing up.
All right. I love Lucky Craft. Lucky Craft makes amazing jerk baits, of course, but crankbaits is really where Lucky Craft, I think, just shines. They have too many crankbaits. There's so many options, and a lot of times it gets confusing. Like, if you take you know, the LC line, there's an LC 0.3, 0.5, 0.3 DD, 0.5 DD, 0.5 DRS, 1.0, 1. It's like, holy crap.
And a million colors.
Right. So I know it can get overwhelming. The same can be said for the BDS line. So the BDS line is a lineup that I have used. I feel like I've used it since I was a kid. I know it hasn't been out that long, but I feel like I've used it for as long as I remember using good tackle. It was taught to me by Brett, actually. So the first time I ever went to the California Delta, Brett and Brent, they're like, dude, you need to have BDS 3s, BDS 4s, it's a staple here. And at the time, I wasn't really using BDS. I was using traditional square bills. And what I noticed is that a traditional square bill, you fish it around grass, as good as a square bill is at deflecting off rock or wood, they don't always come through grass very well.
Right. Yeah.
The BDS was really designed for aquatic vegetation. So if you guys are fishing near any kind of grass, right, this is an amazing one to have. Now, what you're going to find in your box is the Fat CB BDS Magic 2.2. Okay, now I know that's a lot, okay? So if you're familiar with the BDS family, the BDS 3 and the BDS 4 are the most popular ones. The BDS 3 is a longer, more slender shad profile. The BDS 4 is a big, bulky, almost looks like a baseball almost coming through the water, okay? The Magic 2.2 takes the same shape as the 3, downsizes it a little bit. So it makes it a much more user-friendly all-around size for skinny water, pressured fish, from shore, ponds, right? So this should be an amazing one no matter which color you get. And there's about a dozen or so colors. You guys should have a lot of success anywhere that you are with this bait. Okay, the one in my hand just happens to be BE gill, but there's some crawl patterns, there's some clears, there's some shads. So to spec it out, it's 2.5 inches, so it's 65 millimeters, 9.2 grams. Okay, so you're about 5/16 of an ounce in there.
Thing is candy sized.
It's a perfect size. I'm just going to take it out now. This is, and there's multiple factors in play here, but the big reason why this thing comes through so well and is so effective is it has the right movement, but the shape of the lip allows it to either cut through grass, or when it gets in grass and you rip it, it has the perfect action to kind of pull out without bogging down with a ton of grass on it. I think if you guys use it, you're gonna love it. All Lucky Craft baits made in Japan, so you know the quality is great. So I think you guys will have a lot of success. I'm excited to get them in your hands, so there you go. A cool little square bill to play with as fall comes, and what happens in fall? Everything migrates shallow. Okay, so your bait's gonna migrate shallow. If you're in a pond, everything's gonna kind of gravitate towards the shore or edges of vegetation, and something like this would be a perfect one to throw. So Thank you, Lucky Craft. That is the BDS Magic 2.2. BDS, by the way, little trivia, since you're a youngster, CJ. What does BDS stand for?
Doesn't sound good. Boyd Duckett series?
Oh.
I pulled that one
boy.
out of my ass.
Bleep.
Yeah.
It should have stayed there. Big Daddy Strike.
Big Daddy Strike.
Big Daddy Strike.
You expected me to guess that?
Yeah, I did.
Big Daddy Strike.
Yeah. So
I like
the
it.
Fat CB Big Daddy Strike Magic 2.2. Just a little bit of a earful.
My
Okay.
second guess.
There you go. I knew that was coming. All right. Star of the show. You ready?
Oh,
The 110 Pop Max reveal.
everyone's been waiting for.
Okay.
See it.
I have gotten a lot of messages from some of you that have opened this. Super psyched for this color. Obviously, I hope everybody loves this color. But again, keep in mind that as I'm looking at colors, deciding on colors, I'm looking at kind of the whole year as a whole and trying to balance it out, right? So we don't have just 12 shad colors or just 12 bluegill colors or whatever, right? This color I would put on more of the crazy side,
Okay.
but it's a color that I was super stoked when they said, yeah, we'll do that one. Like, oh, hell yeah, right?
Nice.
So this is a color that I absolutely fell in love with when it came out in the X Nanohan Plus 2. Okay, I absolutely destroyed them, and I knew the second I saw it, I'm like, I need to make that in a 110 of Pop Max. So the original plan for this color was to release in February. This was supposed to be one of the early colors, but they couldn't get the paint exactly right, so we pushed it back to the end. So this isn't exactly the ideal time of the year for me to drop this color. Some of you guys will be able to take it out and instantly catch them, but if you use a little forward thinking, here in a few months, this shade is going to be absolutely money. Okay?
Can't wait to see it. Got me amped up now. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
GP Sparkle Viper.
Dang, that thing is sick.
That's dirty, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So
February for
let's take it
sure.
out because it looks even better when you take it out. All right. So this is a transparent kind of morning dawn color. Okay, that has kind of this shocking kind of red hit on the bottom and then that crackle lava red back. As you move this bait and the light hits it, you're gonna see that kind of purple pearl shift on there, which really sets it apart. And then when you hold it up to the light, it just turns, it literally looks just like a Morning Dawn RoboWorm. Now, Morning Dawn in an Ito Vision 110, I saw one go for like $1,200 on eBay earlier this year. Yeah,
Dude.
crazy. One of the hardest to find colors to get. This is gonna get you guys close, okay? But more importantly than that, I don't really care so much about that. It's a color that if you're a collector, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a super fun one to have in your collection because you probably don't have anything like it. If you're a guy that likes to use cool things, I think once you find that the fish are relating to these shades, you're gonna have something that nobody else is gonna have. Megabass really doesn't make a color like this. So you're gonna have something super unique. I'm super stoked for you to have it. So there it is in a 110. Let me crack her open in a Pop Max so we can compare and contrast. It's that one.
Thing is crazy cool.
Dude, I love the crackle. I mean, I'm a sucker for half transparent, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there you go in the Pop Max. So they went with the pink on the feather. You got the crackle.
That's a sick
You got
combo.
the transparent, right? So this one, actually, this one would be disgusting right now. We have tons of dragonflies out right now. Here where we are, I know a lot of you guys probably do too. Those late in the season dragonflies tend to be a little bit more like a burnt orange or like a reddish kind of hue.
Yep.
This would be a sick color to throw around that if you guys are seeing that. So keep that in mind when you're out there. If you're seeing some buzzing action starting to happen, you guys could probably absolutely trash them with that. But I hope you guys love it. GP Sparkle Viper, super stoked to be able to bring that to you guys and get it in your hands. So there you go. There is the star for September.
That's a superstar right there.
Yeah.
Looks good. That'll stand out in your box.
Oh, for sure.
You're not gonna miss that one.
Nothing like that one in there. All right, guys, that is a wrap. As always, guys, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your business. Thank you for being a part of this. This is a really fun project that I get to do every month. So it's always exciting to deliver them and, you know, see the journey that you guys get with these baits, whether it's a collecting journey, a fishing journey, whatever. It's really fun for me. So I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to do this. If you guys have any questions on anything that we covered, drop it down below and I will get an answer for you. We'll put links to the products as well. So if you use some of these, you're like, oh, hell yeah, it's as good as I had hoped it was. You'll have a way to reference back and find the actual bait. So we will see you guys again next month for the October box. It's going to be another banger. Until then, on behalf of myself and CJ and everybody here at the Hookup Guys, thank you again for your business. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you guys next month. Peace.
See you guys.